I never thought I'd be doing this. I never thought that I'd be using this camera again and going back. Let me give you some context of what's going on. So, as you can probably tell, I've been doing a Let's Play of Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island. My most recent video as of right now, for Part 7, with the final boss battle, is now hit with copyright claim for the dumbest of reasons, for background music in a game where I literally have no control over it. So, I already filed a repeal for this claim, and now I have to wait, as of right now, another 4 weeks, and until that claim is gone, the Let's Play of Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island is postponed. But the main reason why I'm doing this video is because I was just hit with an email today to notify me that I received a privacy complaint from an individual regarding my content, specifically for my review of non-compete clause. For what reason, I have no idea. So, apparently, some of the violations may have come from the title, which is the name of the episode, the description, just to give a heads up of how bad non-compete clause is, channel image, of which it's literally my channel images of a flip camera, and on top of that, my entire poor placement and how it's rolled, and the background. I do not understand how any of this would be filed for. I am reading the email, but if you could probably tell based on all this, I am not waiting another 48 hours to try to fix something that I have no idea what the problem is. So rather than having to put up with this nonsense, I ended up taking the entire review down, which, and even more annoying, this was one of my more successful videos since it almost hit 200 views at the time. But yeah, essentially with having to do this camera, essentially I'm reviewing non-compete clause all over again. Not since May the Pet Win am I doing this crap again for a video that's not even a year old. Obviously, as much as I have a lot of things to say for the person that flagged that video and had to force me to take it down due to these privacy issues, of which I have no reason why, Shima can describe my frustration to you if you're watching this review yet again.
I am pissed. I am livid. I'm sitting there and I'm looking prim and proper and containing myself, but what I really wanted to do was wring his neck and to shout out loud, "This is some..."
And that's exactly what that claim is. It is nothing but bullshit. Well, thanks to this certain asshole, I have to review non-compete clause all over again, which is pretty fitting because this is probably now going to be the 4th time I have now ranted about non-compete clause. So, hopefully, once I review non-compete clause again, and for whatever issue this is now fixed, hopefully this will be fixed and I will not have to deal with this yet again. So let's jump back into it. Non-compete clause, aka Fall Weather Friends, the lame version. So this episode begins at the Friendship School where the main six are gathered for basically a student-teacher meeting, where Fluttershy basically wins.
Oh my, I don't know how I keep winning. Yeah, me neither. The award is based on the students' vote. They must really like you.
I mean, who wouldn't? And basically, according to the shots that we've seen, apparently, since this Teacher of the Month thing has happening during the Friendship School, and based on the pictures they show in the shot, apparently this has been going on for 9 months now. That's only my assumption, but later episodes say that this entire season takes place during a semester. So, Applejack and Rainbow Dash decide to compete with one another because they want to have the Teacher of the Month.
For our friendship classes. Spike? Section 229, paragraph 9 says outdoor activity reinforces learning. Add that together, and what do you get? Okay, let me see. 147, 229, carry this 2, 387. A teamwork field trip.
Yeah, keep in mind, this is going to be the only laugh you'll have for the entire episode. And I know that basically outdoor activities definitely help with a lot of learning. So Applejack and Rainbow Dash decide they want to basically, compete with one another, and Twilight thinks that this is a good idea.
Wonderful. It's the definition of teamwork.
I'm sure you're not saying fancy flying makes you a better choice than me.
I wouldn't say better, just a little more qualified. No offense. Maybe you can lead the field trip together.
Really?
Of course. Who better to model the importance of working as a team? Fairy, Fluttershy, me, Spike, and this flower pot.
Think Pinky probably looked ahead in the script and knew where this episode was going. Yeah, so our first problem with the episode, as I made it clear the last time I reviewed this episode, is that essentially this episode is essentially fall weather friends in Season 8's coat of paint, and make everything that made the episode good shittier. So, Twilight brings the young six along to basically discover, what they're actually going to do.
Yeah, what's the point of this exactly?
Getting out of the classroom, duh.
Yeah, that's it, field tripping. Yeah. That's what we're doing? So fun!
As I said, what actually ends up saving this episode is that the young six are essentially the smartest characters in the room. So they head over to Applejack and Rainbow Dash as the two try to teach the class, but as I said, their competitiveness kind of gets in the way.
With me in charge, that is.
Oh. With us in charge, meaning mostly me.
Yeah, good one. And what teamwork activity do you two have planned for today? Canoe racing! No way! We get to do both? I bet that's exactly what your teachers had in mind.
No, they didn't, Twilight.
Let's start with shed building first.
Don't mind if I do.
So, this essentially goes about as you think it does, as Applejack tries to teach the shed building in the Apple way, but because Rainbow Dash is impatient, she decides to build the shed on her own, which does ultimately impress the young six, and I gotta admit, it is a little impressive.
Whoa. No way.
Whoa.
Impressive. If you can call an apple shed impressive.
Yeah.
Just 'cause it's fast don't mean it's good.
Oh, sorry, can't hear you. Too busy practicing my teacher of them, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Yeah, so obviously, as I said, one of the main contributing factors of why this episode is so bad is that basically Applejack and Rainbow Dash are acting like their Season 1 selves, and of course their constant competitiveness is overshadowing their ability to teach, and the young six are slowly catching on to this.
Things done.
No, they're gonna vote for a teacher who gets things done right.
Yeah, this isn't awkward at all.
Yeah, because this is going to get a lot more awkward, Smolder. It's probably what the viewers are thinking right now. So, obviously, as I said, just to basically bypass a lot of the stupid stuff, Applejack tries to get the young six to build the apple shed the Apple way, but Rainbow Dash's impatience basically caused the shed to crash.
I'll give you one guess whose side is still standing.
Yes,
Okay, that was funny. So they then decide to do Rainbow Dash's ability, which is canoe racing, and what exactly are we trying to get kids to do?
Teacher, follow me. Last foot to the stream is a rotten apple shed. Who's ready to smash the all-time equestrian speed record for river canoeing?
I'm wondering if that thing even exists, because I don't think anyone would have a record for river canoeing.
Is that even a thing?
First I've heard of it.
We need to get to the finish line before this alarm goes off. That means you gotta move fast.
So they basically get all the stuff together, and basically, well, what is their objective, Rainbow Dash? As much as you're basically trying to make it more obvious about yourself.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a really stupid question.
I'd rather fall down a spiral staircase and break my neck.
Yeah.
Yona have questions? No time for 'em. Get in the boat!
Yeah, that is Teacher of the Month material. So essentially, while Applejack and Rainbow Dash continue to bicker, which, as I said, is not going to get any less annoying, Yona is a little bit apprehensive because she's not a fan of the water. Ocellus then promptly suggests her to essentially whistle while doing all this. So once they try to get into the boat, once again, we see the whole idea where Rainbow Dash tries to be like, go, 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 and Applejack is slow and steady. But with the canoe on two different sides with 6 students, they're essentially at a standstill.
Focus on her paddle technique, y'all.
Woohoo! We're really going now! So, when do we get to the part when we move?
Yeah, this is not going to get any less annoying. Like I said, what makes this episode just so revolting is just the fact that, okay, well, revolting is not the right word, but it's just kind of like, why are they doing this again? What made Fault with Her Friends and work was because it was a season 1 episode, and we're just getting to know these characters. This was a season 8 episode, and we had 7 seasons of character development, and Rainbow Dash and Applejack are acting like that character development does not matter. So eventually they all start rowing down on the pontoon, and they come across a new creature.
Left! Right! Aye, aye, Captain! Wait, what? Left! I can see the finish line from here!
If we go left, we'll be heading straight into the barracuda fish.
Yeah, so basically this is a new race of creatures in Equestria, the barracuda fish. And based upon what I see, they're essentially like these flying fish that essentially have like large teeth that, well, bite, and they're kind of like the barracudas. And Rainbow Dash did not take any of this into consideration, and that she essentially didn't plan ahead about this when planning this entire lesson.
Who cares about a few fish? Around them!
And also what made A Fall with Her Friends a better episode is that Applejack and Rainbow Dash didn't put innocent bystanders at risk. So essentially they all float down over to the right side, and then Yona loses her life jacket and starts to drown.
Not fair!
So essentially Ocellus and Silverstream basically work together to go in and rescue Ocellus from drowning, proving that the young Siths are essentially the best part of the episode, and then Twilight basically checks in on what's going on.
Silly. About as good as the Apple Shed building. I totally had things under control until Applejack messed them up.
I did not.
Did too.
Did not.
Yep, it's been like this all day.
Another thing that makes the young Siths good in this episode is that essentially they share their frustration with the audience. So Twilight basically decides to reprimand them and basically point out what exactly I already knew.
I can't believe this. You're not teaching teamwork. You're competing with each other. I thought you were past that.
I thought that too, Twilight, but apparently this episode says otherwise.
We are!
We've got carried away with wanting to be the teacher of the month is all.
The teacher of the month wouldn't care about being the teacher of the month. I know Fluttershy would be thrilled to see another pony win. That's it.
So why exactly did they let her do that? So anyways, Twilight tries to do the sensible thing and take over the lesson, but now Applejack and Rainbow Dash start to get really, really annoying as essentially they try to basically prove to Twilight that they can work together.
No way! You're the one the students listen to. Besides, you saved us from those pony-eating fish. Long story, but Applejack should definitely be teacher of the month. Maybe you two have learned something after.
From just that one conversation, oh my god, this is gonna suck.
Fresh. Get it. No more arguing. Right, Applejack?
Right as rain and twice as fresh.
Fine. But I'm picking the next activity you two lead.
So Twilight basically suggests for them to do a nature walk, and unfortunately, Applejack and Rainbow Dash stop bickering, but they then start to get very complimentary of each other and continue to somehow bicker.
Well, look at that. The path splits up ahead. Left or right?
Here we go again.
Where to, Rainbow Dash?
I was thinking right,
Unless you want to go left.
because what makes you happy makes me happy.
Oh, heck. Forget about me. You want to go right? We'll go right.
But teamwork means listening to other ponies, so it's up to you.
Well, aren't you as sweet as sugar apple pie?
Would you please shut up?
Would be my normal reaction, but essentially Yona basically decides to go ahead and kind of take the lead. And then we get to a really, really sad montage where essentially the young six are being miserable while Applejack and Rainbow Dash continue to fight and bicker, but rather continue to, well, fail at teaching as they try to prove that their way is the right way, but ultimately they end up causing the young six to essentially get lost.
I think we've gone in the same circle 5 times.
Only because some ponies won't make up their minds about which way to go.
Do you want to keep going in a circle, Applejack?
Up to you, Rainbow Dash. I insist.
No, I insist.
But I insisted first.
Oh my God.
God damn it, shut up!
Is literally what anyone would want to say.
Are we still on a field trip? Because this just feels like being lost.
Okay, so rather trying to end this misery faster, Smolder essentially flies ahead and finds where the School of Friendship is, but Applejack and Rainbow Dash don't want the young six to take the easy way out. Why? After what they put them through for the past 15 minutes, I have no idea.
We knew that. All part of our plan. Right, Applejack?
Yep. All we have to do is build a bridge across that giant canyon, and we're home free. That is, if you think a bridge is a good idea.
Only if you want to build a bridge.
Listen,
Well, thank God Dallas has the right idea.
you can just fly everyone over and be done.
Nope. There's still plenty of time to teach y'all a lesson in teamwork.
Oh, God damn it.
Operation.
Togetherness.
You are so right.
Only as right as you are.
Oh, my God. Shut up!
Okay, we'll build a bridge. What do we use?
So, unfortunately, Applejack and Rainbow Dash basically compete with each other as they try to make separate bridges out of sticks and vines. And it is just as insufferable as the rest of the episode. But of course, both bridges are unstable, and despite the fact that they're putting their literal lives at risk, they have no idea what they're doing.
Why didn't I think of bridges to begin with? They're so easy to work with.
Now, these here vines are just the thing, Rainbow Dash.
Not to disagree, but
Oh my God, would you please just...
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Jesus Christ, man, what the hell is wrong with you? Please, just shut up! Fuck!
Alright, so finally all the bickering ends up breaking apart when Applejack and Rainbow Dash's bridge end up colliding and trapping with one another, and they end up being hung over by the Barracuda fish.
I can't get out.
Let me try.
Barracudas.
And they look mighty hungry.
Gee, I wonder why.
Best is out of there. Any creature have a plan? Leave them hanging?
Gallus, you know exactly what I'm thinking. But essentially the young six decide that they have to put their heads together to rescue their teachers, and essentially they do take the lesson to heart where essentially they do learn how to work together to essentially save their teachers.
So, what do you say? You want to team up and get ourselves out of this here?
So essentially this all happens happens, as Ocellus disguises herself as one of the Bidacuda fish and scare them away, Gallus and Silverstream basically fly their teachers to safety, while Smolder, Sandbar, and Yona basically break open their wooden and vine-like prison.
Now that was a rescue.
And y'all did it together.
No, Big. Those fish weren't even a thing.
One of the few laughs I am getting out of this episode. So they return to the School of Friendship where, despite all the pain and misery they put them through, the young six essentially decide to cover for Applejack and Rainbow Dash and complimenting them on why they deserve to be Teacher of the Month.
Pony smart. Yeah, Professors Applejack and Rainbow Dash were such good teachers.
It was kind of crazy genius. They showed us what not to do so we'd figure out what we should do.
Really?
It took us a while to get it.
Especially at the ravine. It would have been so much easier to just fly home. But instead, our professor spilled bridges the wrong way just to show us how important teamwork is.
Yeah, that was super dangerous. Talk about commitment.
No, it's too early to pick the Teacher of the Month. But we'd like you to consider Rainbow Dash and Applejack.
You know, I'm kind of wondering, essentially, if the Teacher of the Month needs their votes, and the young six are the only ones that are allowed to vote, so they have all the power. It kind of makes me just want to vote for Pinky out of spite, and the episode ends on one final failed joke.
All the time. I agree with you for the whole nature walk.
Only 'cause you were angling for that Teacher of the Month award.
You were the one doing the angling.
You were more like fans angling.
But what if what I do people are on a fucking loop?
Yeah, it's like this episode basically learned absolutely nothing, and we're back to the whole thing all over again. Alright, so that was non-compete clause, and do I honestly need to say what I've already said about this episode? It is garbage. As I said, this episode is an absolute dumpster fire. Essentially, this is Fall Weather Friends, yet somehow shittier. Applejack and Rainbow Dash are somehow two of the most annoying characters in this episode for the amount of times that they compete and try to one-up each other. And on top of that, because the lesson is so predictable and it tries to bludgeon it in with a jackhammer about teamwork and cooperation, it felt like I learned absolutely nothing. And by the end, what did we get out of it? Almost absolutely nothing. Now, in spite of how bad this episode is, the only saving graces about this episode are a couple of jokes that I did get a chuckle out of, and the young six being the only good thing about this episode, because essentially it shares its frustration with the audience. But this is a really, really bad episode, and I still stand by its original rating I gave it when I reviewed this a year ago. So, non-compete clause is still a D. And like I said, it only escapes being worse is the fact that the young six are the best part of the episode. Okay, now that I reviewed this episode again, can I not get slammed with any other stupid bullshit? When I am just... This is what I'm so hung up on, is the fact that the only thing I'm doing with this is I am literally either doing Let's Plays of video games... I don't know what it is that I am exposing, but I have no idea, especially when the only thing I'm reviewing is essentially a cartoon from the 2010s that's about talking horses that learn about friendship. Hopefully, this is the last time I will ever have to do this, and if I get hit with one more stupid thing, I'm going to flip my shit. Hopefully, I will see you guys in the next month. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.